Well, I have two top of the lines here at $83,000. Comes in the all-new 2024 Lexus GX550 Luxury Plus, and for $73,000 comes in the new 24 Toyota Land Cruiser First Edition. So we'll start with you guys leaving down in the comments, which team are you? Team Toyota or are you Team Lexus? Now, I'm not sure for the 25 model year what Toyota will replace their First Edition with, but for the sake of this video, we will compare the two top trim levels, starting with the exterior. Now, for me, I think Toyota wins this one, guys. I really do like the exterior of the GX up front, with this just classic look with the round headlights, and just look at how bright the DRLs are on the Toyota compared to the GX over there as well. With that too, I think where the Land Cruiser lacks a little bit, especially for the price, is all of the plastic. So we have kind of plastic right here on the front, plastic right there on the canards, where the GX over here, it's paint matched. It looks a lot better for sure, so I guess Lexus does win in that fashion. And two, around the wheel wells, all painted. Land Cruiser, all plastic. And then even down here on the rocker panels, it's all plastic on the Land Cruiser, whereas the GX is painted. Now, that doesn't bother me a whole lot on the front and the sides. However, where it does is the back. GX, nice and painted. Not really sure what's kind of going on with that bottom reflector here and stuff, but the bumper is all painted. It looks nice. Land Cruiser, all plastic. I think that this would have really benefited if the side of it was paint matched and then maybe the back was like a little bit more plasticky. I'm not sure, but yeah, it just kind of looks a little bit cheap, especially when compared to the paint over here on the GX. So looking at the wheel and tire options too, Land Cruiser a little bit more off-roady. We do have some 22s on the GX. You can option a Land Cruiser with some 20s, not sure why you would want to. However, I do have 18s on mine. Now, going into the GX first, before we go into the Land Cruiser, you will see those automatic steps come down. Now, keep in mind, camera, it doesn't do the luxury justice, okay? You can't feel all the soft touch materials, but I will be able to point them out. I do wish that the GX had some wood grain, like the 460 did. However, we do have soft touch materials literally everywhere on the door. Right here, padded with the Mark Levinson right there, padded on the inside, padded right here, padded up there, on the top of the door sill as well. Acoustic glass, which the Land Cruiser does not have. I wish that it did. And then semi-aniline leather seats with some very nice leg extensions and everything right here. Also an illuminated door seal, and then just the soft touch materials continue onto the dash and everything here. We do have a HUD and an automatic adjustable steering wheel with paddle shifters. These seats too, they are heated and ventilated just like the Land Cruiser. However, for $83,000, you get massaging seats. And now coming over to the Land Cruiser, no automatic steps because we do have the rock rails on this one for the First Edition, but we have a little bit less of soft touch materials. On the Land Cruiser door, honestly, I feel like they're a little bit more cushiony, but they stop right here. This is where the plastic starts. However, we have a little bit of padding right here on the door where the speaker is on the GX. And then we have First Edition embroidered, or embossed, I should say, into the door. And then nice soft touch all throughout. Same here too on the dash. We also have an automatic steering wheel, HUD up top. This is a little plasticky right here on the dash. However, as you get a little bit closer, you guys can see the difference in the materials. This is all soft touch, and it continues over there to the passenger side. Nice cushiony seats. I feel like these seats are a little bit more soft than the, that's horrible grammar, I know, but they're just softer than the GX. They are a bit more comfortable, I feel like, heated and ventilated. However, for the adjustment for like your leg extension, you have to kind of like pull it out manually. Definitely should have just all been automatic, especially for $73,000. Now, staying with the Land Cruiser as we get on in, we do have a normal moonroof in this one, and the dashboard area I actually like a little bit more. Now we have the same 12.3 inch dash right here, fully customizable, but then you have a 12.3 inch screen right here, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all wireless. GX, or the Land Cruiser, does have soft touch all through here, no shelf right there, and we do have a JBL sound system. And this air conditioning in this Land Cruiser is freaking cold. It gets colder than that GX for some reason. It actually feels really good in here, and that could be too because of the ceramic window film for sure, but just in general, like my Tacoma with the same 4-cylinder setup, it just gets colder than my Tundra. I don't know why. I don't know if that's that V6 thing or something like that. But taking a look at our center console, I really like the layout of the Land Cruiser a bit more. We have all of our off-road goodies right here. Front stabilizer disconnect, which that GX doesn't have. Rear and center locking diff, our 4-wheel drive functions, and a shifter that is really out of the way of your cup holders right here. We do have the wireless charger, 3 USB-Cs up front, and then all of our drive mode selectors right here. 12.3-inch screen like I mentioned, but the volume control is in a very awkward position right here. And we do have the cool box right here on the Land Cruiser. And getting into the GX, I can definitely tell that it is warmer in here, but we have a 14-inch screen, which is kind of like not really a thing, right? You have kind of like a 12.3-inch screen here because all of your HVAC stuff is always down here on the bottom. The same 12.3-inch screen right there, a very kind of similar steering wheel, definitely a bit more modern than the Land Cruiser. And again, that soft touch material just follows the whole way here on the dash, and we have a nice little shelf right here for the passenger. The layout though of the center console, I do like the GX's, or I'm sorry, the Land Cruisers a little bit more. When you have a cup right here of something and you have your shifter, you kind of like hit the cup sometimes, and it just seems like a lot of dead space up here. Like you do have the 12 volt right there, but it just seems like a lot of dead space. And then you have your wireless charger right here. And then also, let me move that out of the way, and then you also do have a cool box. And then this up here is literally the same for both vehicles. We both have digital mirrors. The mirror is the exact same, and even this right here for the touch for your lights to go on and off is pretty much the same. The only thing that's different is this on the GX. So it has like this full panoramic roof, and with the press of a button, it can be kind of fogged out, and then of course you can close it with the switch, and the whole thing will be all nice and shaded, and it's actually kind of a thicker material for you. Now lastly, we will go into the back. So the GX over here has, again, soft touch materials, very soft all throughout the doors. You actually have peasant blockers on this one, and with the luxury you get captain's chairs, which I actually like on the back. So we have captain's chairs here in the back, full 6-seater with the 3-zone climate control here for the rear occupants. These seats are heated, which is nice to have for the rear occupants, whereas over here on the Land Cruiser, when we go in, again, soft touch materials. The plastic does start a little bit early right here, but soft touch all here on the door. No peasant blockers, but it is a standard bench in the back seat of the Land Cruiser. 3-zone climate control as well. However, don't mind the dog hair. However, we do not have a rear heated seats for the rear occupants, unfortunately. All right, so now let's go to the cargo areas. So both of these vehicles do have an automatic hatch. The GX over here though, since it is not a standard hybrid powertrain, which we will get into, you have a bit lower of a floor. Still not that low, because for some reason we do have this little bit of hump right here, probably because this is a 3rd row. However, little bit of a hump, but it is a 3rd row, which is nice. We can lift up the seats right here. Unfortunately, not automatic. You have to hold it. If I let go, it stops and it gets mad at you. So you have to hold this. We do have a 400-watt inverter right there underneath. And you guys can pretty much see the amount of space that we would have if you had the 3rd row up. Now too, when it is down, you have a good amount of space, and it pretty much folds flat if you have these seats right here with the 2nd row. Whereas on the Land Cruiser over here, this hatch does go up higher. We just have it low because it's meant for our garage at our house. But you do see this little bit of a hump right here because of the battery pack. And per this, for some reason, it can only be about 60 kilograms worth of objects that sit on top of this. And Freedom units, that's about 132 pounds. I feel like that is direct, like a point, because the thin sheet metal under this, they just don't want you to put like a whole bunch of weight back here. I've definitely had over 130 pounds on this, and it has not like been an issue at all. But the thing that they do have in common, which is unique, is cup holders back here and USB-Cs. Even though the Land Cruiser is only a 2-row, it still does have cup holders and USB-Cs because it is a 3-row in the global market. But the nice thing, we do have some more storage right here and also storage on this side. And for the Land Cruiser, we actually have a 2400 watt inverter thanks to the hybrid system. Now, of course, we got to talk about the elephant in the room before the video ends, right? The powertrain. So the Lexus has the preferred powertrain, where the Land Cruiser gets one that gets better miles per gallon. You'll also notice over here too on the GX that we have hood struts, which is very nice. The Land Cruiser, for some reason, for $73,000, I have to use a prop rod for the hood. Not the end of the world. Don't really open the hood that much on a Toyota. However, it is just a thing. So the engine powering this is a standard hybrid setup. 2.4 liter turbocharged, single turbocharger, 4-cylinder engine, 8-speed automatic transmission, 326 horsepower, 479 foot-pounds of torque, very spunky, great little engine, getting decent gas mileage, around 21 to 22 for us on our Land Cruiser. This guy over here though, same engine as the Tundra Sequoia LX600, its bigger brother, detuned a little bit, 349 horsepower, 479 foot-pounds of torque, probably about 5 to 6 mpg less on the GX over here than the Land Cruiser. Now, after driving this GX for about a week or so, I'm a fan more of this powertrain just for how it feels. I really like it in my Tundra, and the powertrain on this is just buttery smooth, very nice. The hybrid on the Land Cruiser, it is somewhat herky-jerky sometimes, especially when coming to a stop. Sometimes it just gives you a little buckle, or a little buck, I should say, a little bit. But the low-end torque of this thing, it's monstrous. It's really surprising for just what it is, right? It's a 4-cylinder, but it's very nice to drive. I still do, I think, prefer the 6-cylinder. If Toyota put that engine in this Land Cruiser, it'd be game over. It would be so good. So those are pretty much the features side by side. Which one would you guys pick? Would you pick the GX550, or would you guys pick the new Land Cruiser, and why? I appreciate you all watching, and I will catch you in the next one. All right, see you later.